Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, great, great. Happy and excited about this video. Hello, everybody. My name is Diana Polanco, and I'm here with Monica Jacobs. She is the owner of Jacobs Insurance Services, an exclusive all-state agency in Naples, Florida. And Monica, how are you?
Doing great. Loving the weekend.
All right, last weekend. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time of your busy schedule to talk to me today. And this is very important, everybody, because today we are going to be educating people about the insurance industry, automobile, homeowners, all type of insurance. So stay tuned if you want to learn how to protect your family and your assets. So you definitely want to watch this video today. So Monica, um, you started your agency, Jacobs Insurance Services, 10 years ago. And right now you're celebrating the 10-year anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And you were there 10 years ago too to help me start the business. You
I
have been
remember.
insurance, yeah, you have been insurance licensed for that long. So congratulations to you too.
Thank you very much. Thank you for everything because you really taught me a lot of things about this industry. You have been my mentor in this industry, and I appreciate that a lot. Um, absolutely. So, Monica, before you open your agency, I know that you have been with Jacobs Insurance for 10 years, your own agency, but before that, you already had experience. Can you please share your story? How do you start working in this industry?
Oh, yes. I started working at another Allstate agency in 2003. So I have been in the insurance industry for over 20 years, and it keeps changing, keeps evolving,
Yes.
just like your real estate industry, because you are a realtor, so you're keeping up with both worlds.
Tell me
So,
about it. A lot of
right,
changes.
a lot of changes. Yes, yes. So,
Yeah,
yeah. Uh,
absolutely. Yeah, if you don't know Monica, she is a sharp, knowledgeable person. Um, she has a lot of experience. You have how many years before you open your own agency?
11 years before I opened the agency. I have been.
Imagine.
Yes, yes. So a long time.
That's a long, long time. That's why I say you have been my mentor. Um, and I work with different agencies here, but honestly, I'm very impressed with your knowledge, your patience to teach people, in this industry, to patience, to take care of the clients and handling claims. I mean, you're amazing, great agent.
Thank you. So,
Yes, absolutely. No, no. I mean, I know you personally, and I know the way you work, your work ethic is impressive. I've learned a lot from you. So thank you so much for that. And it is important to say, Monica, uh, do you cover the entire state of Florida, right? Not only Naples. Your agency is located in Naples,
yes,
but you cover the entire state of Florida. So basically,
absolutely.
yes, it is a very busy agency because you take care of everybody. Somebody called you from Orlando, Tampa, Miami, Naples, Fort Myers. We take care of them.
Yes. Mhm.
Great, great, great. And it is important to say that all the lines of businesses that you actually represent, so basically you can insure automobile, um, homeowners, boats, motorcycles, golf carts, umbrellas, life, renters, and much more. You name it. Monica Jacobs, call Jacobs Insurance Services, and we're going to take care of you.
Yep. Yeah. All of their insurance needs in Florida. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good to know. Good to know. So, Monica, today we are definitely talking insurance. And I'm surprised because I don't see a lot of people talking insurance. And that's such an important topic, such an important topic. And I don't see people talking enough, educating people enough about insurance. So, first of all, I talked to you about this, Monica. I'm concerned with the fact that a lot of people don't take time to talk insurance, to sit with that insurance agent and to review their policies. What can you tell someone that don't take the time to do that?
Yeah, so insurance is not the funnest topic, and I understand that, but it is so important to just call your agent, make an appointment, or do it over the phone and ask a few questions and ask, what am I missing? What is it that I don't have? What coverages do you offer that I don't have so that you can know what you have or don't have? A lot of times people say I have full coverage and it really isn't full. There's no such thing as full because all the coverages have limits. So it can be 10 minutes of their time once a year. Let's just touch base on what has changed. What am I covered for? It is super important. Again, you can learn a lot in 10 years and you can make decisions there and then kind of forget about it and then call again a year later for another 10 minutes just to make sure that everything's up to date.
Yes, because life changes constantly, and
Mhm.
people don't understand that they need to make the time to sit with an agent and review and make adjustments. You know,
Mhm.
people have gaps. You marry, you divorce, now you have another child. There's a lot of things that you need to adjust in your insurance policies. So that's very, very important. And also, I talked to you, Monica, about, I believe that a lot of people underestimate the job of an insurance agent. And
Mhm.
I think this is a very, very important job. I mean, we are in the business of helping people, right? And the fact that you can help a family protect their dreams, their assets, their kids' future, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So it is important to take time, select, choose an agent, and make time and sit with that agent. Just
Yeah.
remember that.
Yes, for 20 years, I've been talking to people about covering their assets and the proper bodily injury liability and property damage. And I added a lot of young drivers to policies. And this year, I got to add my 16-year-old daughter and her car to my policy. So I am living it. And some people might say, oh my goodness, the insurance went up because I added my 16-year-old. Let me lower the coverage. That's the last thing you want to do. You want to have as much coverage as you want, as you can afford, because that 16-year-old is carrying around my assets, 25% of my income out there every time she makes a right turn, left turn, or runs a red light.
That's
It's
scary.
on me. So yes, you want to have as much bodily injury and property damage liability. And then you want to make sure that, God forbid, your child is hurt, that you have the proper coverage so that you can tell her, don't worry, we're taken care of, because accidents do happen.
Absolutely, all the time. Monica, can you please explain how can your automobile insurance liability impact your future, your home, and your family?
Yeah, so the state of Florida does not require for you to carry bodily injury liability, which is the coverage that pays in the event that you injure somebody else. I do not sell policies without that coverage at my agency. Anybody who wants a policy without it, they have to go somewhere else
Mm-hmm.
because it could be catastrophic to
Yes,
anyone who cause an accident, injure somebody, and then your insurance company tells you, sorry, you don't have the coverage. I know you're being sued, but there's nothing we can do about it. So as much coverage as you can have, the more you can have, the better it is. Because if you don't have enough to take care of the other person's injuries, up to 25% of your wages can be taken. And who can live on 25% less? We need 25% more
more.
nowadays. So and it could take years for you to pay that debt. You could be taken to court and not have proper lawyers. It can be life changing. I know people who have been paying for car accidents 7 years later, they're still making payments on that judgment against them because they didn't have enough coverage. And then they could put a lien on your house. They can't take your house, but if you do sell it, your primary house, they can't take it. But if you do sell it, that you would have to pay that debt that you have from the accident. And they could take investment properties that you may have. They can take monies that you have in a bank account. It's just not worth the risk. it is definitely a good coverage to have bodily injury liability as much as you can.
That is very scary. I always remember you when I used to work, with you back in the time. You always said, every time you're driving with your home on your trunk, like
Yeah.
everything you have. So
Yeah.
make sure you're properly covered. Um, Now, also, if you can, Monica, explain and break down this misconception of the I have full coverage. Most of the time, when you talk to someone, they believe and they tell you, I have full coverage. What is full coverage? Because I mean, most of the policies are like definitely with a lot of gaps and they don't have full coverage. Can you please explain, the minimum, the combination of coverages people think because they have bodily injury, comprehensive collision uninsured, I'm fully covered.
Yeah, so that is definitely a misconception, like you mentioned. And most good insurance agents will never tell their client you have full coverage.
Nope,
Because even if you have $100,000 in liability coverage in case you injure somebody else,
you
you
don't know if
could
that's
lose
enough.
$500,000 in injuries.
Yes.
That's not full. So typically what the consumer is looking for when they say, I need full coverage, is because they have a loan on their car and they need to make sure that the vehicle itself is fully covered. So if you have
Mhm.
collision and comprehensive, those are the two coverages that take care of your vehicle, but that's just the vehicle. That doesn't include whether you have medical bills due to injuries or you injure somebody else or you crash into somebody's Maserati and you only have 10,000 of property damage to pay for that Maserati that you totaled. So that's why it's good to sit down, know what are your limits, because all policies have a limit. There's no such thing as full coverage.
Yeah, and you go to a hospital and $10,000 are not going to be enough for you, for your family, for another person. Let's say that somebody died because of you.
Mm.
That's a huge problem. People don't, I mean, this happened to everybody. Like that can happen to you tomorrow. Like
Just, yeah,
you need to be prepared for the unexpected. This can happen to you. That's
yeah,
really,
just go to your local news and
Mhm.
count how many people pass away in a car accident in 1 week.
That's scary.
It's car accidents and deaths on the road. It can happen to anyone. So of course you buy as much coverage as you can afford, but how much you can afford depends on the importance that you give it. Once you understand what it means, you realize there's no way I can go without it. I must have it because we all attach a value to things. So like I can live without Netflix. They could double their price and I'm still going to have it. So the same thing with coverage. Once you understand what it does for you, many times you decide, I cannot drive around without it.
Yeah, that's very important. Now, changing topics, we're going to talk life now. So, having life insurance, how not having life insurance, Monica, can impact someone's finances and future if the main income provider pass away. This can happen to everybody. Everybody's exposed to this situation right now.
Yes, anybody who is born can pass away.
Yes.
That's the one thing that we have for sure. And life insurance is so affordable. It's so much more affordable than what people think. You can buy a $500,000 policy for $30, $40 a month, which again, I'm paying $25 for Netflix. So if I can pay 20 or YouTube, one of those two. So if I'm paying that much for one of those services, I better be able to afford to protect my two children and my husband if something happens to me. So life insurance is literally a check that is given to the beneficiary on the policy, and they can pay for anything. They can pay for the mortgage, the car payment, college for the kids, the funeral expenses. If you love somebody, if you have dependents, absolutely, you should have life insurance. It is a no-brainer. And it's never been this inexpensive because we are living longer. There's much better
Mhm.
medicine. So the cost of life insurance has come down tremendously from what it was years ago.
That's correct. That's correct. And something important to know is that, people, you can protect your legacy. Everything that you worked for and you started to build, who's going to pay your mortgage? Who's going to pay for your kids' education? Like, you need to think ahead of the game and say, hey, something happened, my family is protected. That's the way. Everybody loves someone.
Yeah.
I don't have kids, but I have my mom. I have my nephews. I have my brothers. I have my dad. Think about someone you want to protect, and not only that, I mean, you pay 50% of your mortgage. You don't want that home to go away. Leave it to someone in your family or whatever. That's very important. And this is funny, Monica, because I also see people paying $5 for a coffee in a daily basis and telling them they don't have money to buy a $300 life insurance or $400 or $1,000. Like, it is funny. $5 for a coffee daily. They do have the money. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
That goes back to once we attach a value to something, we're willing to spend almost anything. So if you're used to that daily coffee, you will pay the $5, $6 because you find value in it. So for those who are listening who currently don't find value in life insurance, please talk to an agent, call my office. We will discuss your situation and hopefully we can make you see the huge value that it has for you to protect your legacy, your loved ones, and how inexpensive it can be. I mean, it's so much more affordable than many other things out there. So it's all about seeing the value. What are we paying for?
Yes, yes. And something important is, can you give us an idea, Monica, on how to calculate how much life insurance you need?
Yeah, so you want to make a list of all of your debts. What will you be leaving behind? So, because you want to solve these problems, you don't want to leave this debt behind for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to also add what would the funeral cost be? What do you want? Do you want something simple? Do you want something extravagant that costs $30,000? And then also, what beyond the immediate, what do you want to leave? Do you want to make sure that your children have enough money to go to college, to be able to afford to get their first car? How far do you want it to go? So we have calculators that we can help you with to determine. And then once we have that figure, we can give you different options on, do you want a policy that lasts your entire life and accumulates cash value? Or do you need this policy just for the next 20 years because your children are little, or 30 years, 40 years? So we can help you customize it. The younger you are, the better it is. So you want to buy as much as you can now because the price will be fixed for a long period of time.
Yes, yes, that's very, very important. And now, I'm thinking about one of the horror stories because we see a lot of things, we sell these policies. So when
Mhm.
somebody died, when they have an illness, a chronic, illness, or when bad things happen, we gotta be there for our clients. And I remember one time I was talking to this family and I wrote a life policy for them for one um, child, and they just told me this. I believe this story stuck in my head, and until today, I go to bed thinking about it. It's just the fact that he was driving, coming home, and he was parking. It was getting dark, 7 p.m. He unfortunately, unintentionally killed his 4 years old daughter. When he told me that, honestly, I lost it. I lost it. And I was like, I can't believe this. And I sold the life policy to protect the family, after this tragedy happened. So after that, I was so shocked. And I talked to Monica, I'm a crier. I started crying. And I did a research and I was shocked with the statistics about how often this happen when parents are parking, coming home. The first thing the kid, they just run to say, Daddy, Mommy, hi, Mommy is home. That happens a lot. So please, if you're listening to this, If you have kids, make sure if you go home, make sure the kids are inside if you're parking, especially during night. So that's very, very important. That story is always with me,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
now that I have nephews now, and just thinking about it just got me nervous.
And a quick thing on that, another thing that keeps me up at night talking about children is how hot cars get. Please don't leave your children, don't leave your pets in the car.
Yes,
Always
yes,
look back to make sure that when you lock that car, there's nobody in that car, because those are horrible situations.
yes, absolutely. Monica, we are, yeah, we have 10 more minutes. I want to talk to you about different important topics. Can you please explain what is an umbrella policy? Umbrella policy. A lot of people have no idea what this is.
Yeah, so an umbrella policy is excess liability. It's extra liability above the liability that you have on your cars, your home, boats, motorcycle, anything that you own has to have the first layer of insurance, and the umbrella is secondary in case there is an accident that happens that exceeds the first layer of coverage that you have because it was a big loss. Then the umbrella is there to give an extra 1 million in liability, 2, 3, or higher. And the umbrella policy is not just for the rich. It's not just for people who have $1 million or $2 million in their bank account, because as Morgan and Morgan will tell you, you don't have to be a millionaire for them to sue you for $1 million.
As a millionaire.
So
Oh, yes.
yes, yes. So all that it takes is for you to be at fault for a big loss. And that can happen to anyone. Accidents happen. So the umbrella policy, for sure, I mean, it's so important because it's that extra 1 million or two. And $1 million is not as much as it used to be 10, 20 years ago. It is easy to reach $1 million in a loss.
Oh,
So
yes.
they're even more important now than ever.
Yes, let me give you an example. Last Christmas, this happened to a friend of mine. Actually, she is the daughter of one of my real estate clients, investor. She had people, over, her friends gathering on Christmas, and they were sitting around the fire pit. Somebody would, I don't know what is this liquid that they add to make more fire or whatever. The fire is something went wrong. It spread in quickly, and everybody got hurt, burned, kids. So what happened after that? Everybody sued my friend's daughter. Thank God she had a 1 million umbrella. Well, she is still short. And they're not friends anymore. So it was very messy. That can happen to you, to anybody.
Yeah.
It just can happen. When you have guests in your house, you're liable. I mean, there is some risk, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And since I've been doing insurance for so long, I am that parent who is just like, how can you leave the kids unattended at the pool? How, like, I'm checking
Huh.
on everything because there's
Yes.
liability exposure on almost everything that we do.
Oh,
And
yes.
that's the way I think about things. But yes, the fire pit, when I have turned it on here, I am sitting there. I am making sure everybody is far away and nobody's horsing around, because I have heard of Boy Scouts camps where it
Mm-hmm.
fell into the fire.
Oh,
It's
no.
just horrible things that, of course, you want to live your life, but that's why you get good insurance. So if something happens, you're covered.
Yes. Um, Also, something important, Monica, that we need to mention, I believe, is important for people who purchase an umbrella policy. It is important to keep an eye on your liability, because you need to keep 300,000 in everything, in your home and your renters. And if you're driving outside United States, you need to keep that in mind. If you rent a vehicle, that's very important. You need to keep those limits, 300,000, in order to have that umbrella, kicking in.
Yes, the last thing you want is for a gap to happen between when your umbrella kicks in and the first layer of coverage that you have. You want to make sure there's no gap, because if there is a gap, you could be on the hook for $100,000, $200,000. So
Absolutely.
when you're shopping for an umbrella policy, make sure you get in writing what are the required first layer of coverages on everything that you own, and always maintain it.
Yes. Okay, so now we have 5 minutes. I want to touch homeowners insurance. Monica,
Oh,
I talked to you about the way I was shocked after Hurricane Ian, because a lot of people that I know, a lot of people I've noticed, they didn't have a clue about what coverages they had on their homeowners insurance policy. Even worse, they did not know where to find it. What is your advice for this kind of people that don't care about policies, insurance, my home, I don't know what I have? What can you tell these people?
yeah, so I know insurance is boring. Nobody likes to talk about it, but you must pull your policy. If you can't find it, call, email, text your agent and look at your policy. There is a document called Checklist of Coverage. It's very easy to understand. You can ask your agent to send that to you, and you will quickly understand what is your deductible. Do you have the $7,000 hurricane deductible saved somewhere, or 8,000, or it could be even higher because it's typically 2% of the amount that the home is insured for. So there are a lot of things to know about. Hurricane season is about to start. You have to be aware. And even if it's not a hurricane claim, you could have $1,000 deductible or 2,500. You want to make sure that you have those funds available and that you know what is excluded. For older homes, a lot of them have water coverage exclusion. Like if there's a leak, a water pipe burst, they may not have coverage. They want to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Or there might be a $10,000 limitation. So earlier we mentioned that the consumer's life changes a lot and they should talk every year with their agent. But something that changes even faster is the policy's terms and conditions. And those policy terms and conditions, they change. You get a piece of paper in the mail, you don't understand why you read it, you throw it away, you think everything's good. So that's a very important reason why you should talk to your agent and ask what has changed
Yes,
in my coverage, because
absolutely.
companies are changing how they cover things.
Yes, and very important to talk to a knowledgeable agent, because there's a lot of guidelines and a lot of people don't know the guidelines, and they're not fully licensed to tell you, to give you advice. There's a lot of regulations as far as your title of home, or property, if it's under an LLC. That's another topic for another time, Monica. We don't have time, but we only have 3 minutes left. Renters insurance is very important. Renters, you are liable. You need to make sure if you don't own a property, at least purchase a renter's policy. Monica, we have 3 minutes left. What can you tell us about renters insurance?
One of my teammates has a friend who recently was found at fault for causing a fire in her apartment. The apartment complex is suing this person.
Jesus.
The damage caused to the building, and she didn't have renter's insurance. Renter's insurance can be $15 a month. It is so inexpensive.
Inexpensive.
And it would have assigned a lawyer, dealt with the community. She would be on a need to know basis. She wouldn't be bothered. Now she's completely unprotected and has to deal with this lawsuit and hire an attorney to defend her.
That's
If you
important.
are renting, please get renter's insurance. And a lot of things that people found out is even if you're renting, if you're on the ground floor, at least you should also consider flood insurance, because
As well.
a lot of people during Ian, they were renting, they had renter's insurance, their apartment flooded, and they quickly realized your renter's policy will not pay for flood damage.
Yes,
Renter's
that's separate.
policy, yeah, so
Totally separate.
it's so important also to have flood insurance.
Very important. And if you have more questions, because we are running out of time, we're wrapping up, please give us a call, Monica. If you don't understand your policies, if you need help, if you need to know what protection you need or how much insurance you need, we are happy to help you at Jacobs Insurance Services. Monica, where is your office located?
So we are in East Naples. The address is 12644 Tamiami Trail East, Naples, Florida 34113. You can call us or text us at 239-908-6855. Again, 239-908-6855. You can call or text that number. And you can email me at monicajacobs@allstate.com.
Great. Monica, thank you so much for your time. Remember, if you need help with auto, boats, homes, bikes, renters, life, golf carts, umbrellas, and a lot of more insurance needs, we are happy to help you at Jacobs Insurance Services. Monica, thank you so much for your time, and
Oh,
thank you for watching.
Yeah, one quick thing. When they
Yes.
call us or text us, ask for Viana.
Oh, ask for Viana Polanco. I'm happy to
Yeah.
help. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.